This one is definitely worth watching because Charlamagne puts Dana White in a position we don't usually see him in, having to explain his close relationship with Donald Trump. What makes the exchange interesting is that Charlamagne doesn't let the friendship answer the bigger question. He presses Dana on whether being Trump's friend means he can also tell him when he believes he's getting things wrong. And surprisingly, Dana doesn't blow up or get overly defensive. He actually gives a pretty revealing response. Let's get into the exchange, and I'll break down the bigger issue at the end.
We're on the Katie Miller podcast, and you said in regards to your relationship with Trump and has it cost the UFC business, you said, I don't give a shit. I don't know the answer to that question. I've gotten to a point in my life, especially after COVID and all that nutty shit that went on during that time, that I only want to be in business with and talk to people that I'm aligned with.
Well, I don't know about talk to people that I'm aligned, but I want to do business with people that I'm aligned with for sure.
So you're aligned with Trump on what exactly?
Well, Trump is a good friend of mine. I mean, I've been friends with him for 25 years. Mm-hmm. Friends. I mean, he just happened to become the president of the United States. Mm-hmm. And he and I have never had he had us at the Trump Taj Mahal. When we first bought this company, the stigma that was attached to this thing, you can imagine, think about this. It wasn't allowed on pay-per-view. You as a grown adult didn't have the option to buy it on pay-per-view. Porn was on pay-per-view. The UFC was not allowed on pay. That was the uphill battle we had. So you can imagine venues didn't want us because these guys were like, what kind of people will show up to watch this kind of an event? And he had us at the Trump Taj Mahal for the first two fights, 30 and 31, UFC 30 and 31. And then after we did those two fights, first he showed up for the first fight of the night and stayed till the end for both events. And you think the Trump brand then and the UFC brand, and every good thing that ever happened to me in my career after that, he was always the first guy to reach out. So then when he was running in 16, he called me and asked me, would you speak for me at the Republican convention? And everybody told me not to do it. Don't do it. This is going to be bad. And he's never going to win and all that kind of stuff. But this was a guy that was always good to me and, always treated me well, and I did it.
I can understand that. That's your friend. But when your friend has a disapproval rating of 62%, right, record high, people say they don't like his handling of the Iran war, the economy's shitty, cost of living for people is fucked up. Why can't you tell your friend he's failing the people? As a friend.
Well, he's the president of the United States.
Still your friend, though.
And, yeah, I know. But, for me to get involved in, it's like if your friend had I'm sure people disagree with you that are friends with you, and everybody has friends that you just doesn't mean you're not friends with them anymore. It doesn't mean that you.
Oh, no, I didn't say you shouldn't be friends with him. I just said, why can't you tell your friend he's failing the people? Because these are the same people who make UFC a success.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree that he's failing the people. I think that when the president is done in 3 years, people will look back on and realize a lot of the good things. See, I'm closer to him too, and I see all the good things that he does that a lot of people, either don't see or don't want to see.
But tariff inflation has increased the price of household goods, increased utility bills because household electricity costs have gone up 9%. The failure to extend the Affordable Care Act has fucked up people's health care. Everyday working class people who support your sport are hurting.
You're never going to have a president that sits in the White House that everybody approves 100% of everything they do, and not everything is always going to be perfect. You're going to have some things that work out great and a lot of things that don't. It's no different than running a business or any other thing. Nobody's ever going to be absolutely perfect.
Oh, I agree.
When they're the president of the United States.
But can you tell your friend when he's...
Yeah, we talk about a lot of things, but I don't try to get into...
You like everything he's doing?
Like I just said, you're never going to agree with everything. But, as a friend, I'm not going out there. And he and I have never, other than the first two UFC events, nothing with us is transactional.
So your relationship with Trump is bigger than business. It's actually personal.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a real friendship, not some type of, he has lots of friends, especially now that he's the president. We don't have that. We've had a 25-year real friendship and real relationship.
But don't be a glazer, though, Dana.
Don't be what?
A glazer. Like just somebody that just tells him he's great. A yes man, basically.
Yeah.
You got to tell him when he's...
I don't think anybody's ever accused me of being a yes man. Okay. And I think that's that's part of it. But listen, I'm not an overly political person either.
Are you part of the MAGA movement culturally? Do you align with their ideologies and their values?
You know, I consider myself right down the middle or leaning a little liberal, to be honest with you. Everybody thinks I'm some far right guy because of our relationship. I'm more about common sense. I'm a common sense guy. And if it makes sense to me, then I'm probably in.
So when you see the Joe Rogans, the Theo Vaughns, the Andrew Schultzes actually, calling out Trump and what they don't like, what do you think of that?
I think that everybody's entitled to their own opinions, and if there's things that you see that you don't like, and you want to be political, call them out.
Yeah, because it's interesting. Most CEOs try to stay politically neutral to protect the brand. You almost seem kind of like proud to be political, I guess.
Not proud to be political. I mean, I'm just saying that this guy is my friend, and nothing is perfect. And whoever is the next president, right or left, isn't going to be perfect either. I just think that I don't base my relationship with him on politics.
Well, what about when people say that you're the reason why a lot of young male voters, because of, you have seen everything that you have, voted for Trump? And that was something that, like, even if you didn't mean to do, it was widely talked about, and you still leaned into helping his popularity in the space.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
But that gets political then.
Yeah.
So
I guess.
So you're responsible for the high tariffs and the high inflation costs, and
I guess so. I guess if that's the way you want to look at it,
for people
it's all my fault.
No, I'm just saying you're responsible for people's healthcare getting cut. I'm just saying, like, that's what you're essentially saying.
Okay.
Jesus.
I mean, I that's not the way I look at it, but I guess I could see why you would look at it that way, and you could, frame it like that.
What's the craziest thing a fighter has asked you for besides money? Is there anything on the side that a fighter said, this is weird or this is strange?
Cocaine?
No, nobody's ever asked me for coke.
So let me leave it there, because this exchange actually raises a much bigger issue. Dana White repeatedly comes back to one argument: Donald Trump is my friend. And I completely understand that, but friendship doesn't mean you stop holding someone accountable. Charlamagne asked a very simple question. If Trump's policies are hurting ordinary Americans through things like rising costs and healthcare concerns, can you at least tell your friend when you think he's getting something wrong? And Dana's response was basically, I guess so. That's what stood out to me. Because Dana White is extremely successful, but the average UFC fan doesn't necessarily live that same reality. If everyday Americans are struggling with their household expenses, healthcare, or the cost of living, those issues matter, even if they don't personally affect someone at the top. And that's why I thought Charlamagne's questioning was important. He wasn't asking Dana to stop being Trump's friend. He was asking whether friendship should come before accountability. And honestly, I think that's a fair question. What do you guys think? Did Charlamagne put Dana White in a difficult position, or was Dana right to separate his friendship with Trump from politics? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more political commentary.